This topic is about the ergonomics and human factories. My name is Rin, your course coordinator, and I hope that we can complete the fourth chapter in the fourth week, so that we can, sorry untuk yang menguap kan, dengar suara menguap kan, petang. Okay, so that we can start our laboratory at fourth week, insyaAllah. Okay. So the lesson outcome for this class at the end of this module, I hope that students able to understand the ergonomic and human factories, and also you have the fundamental knowledge to do the identification of ergonomic and human factories in the cell at the place of work. Alright, so the definition of ergonomic risk factors. Basically, ergonomics and human factors is about the same. So the risk factors is considered as any attributes or characteristic or any exposure that may cause or contribute to musculoskeletal injury. Some of the risk factor we call it as physical risk factor. We can see it clearly. Contoh, repetitive, awkward posture, we can see it. And we know that the exposure to those risk factors may lead to the musculoskeletal injury. But somehow, the risk factor is hidden. For example, stress at work. You cannot see the stress, but we can see the symptom. Okay? Somehow when we in the state of the stressful condition, our inner biological state is changing. So we are so vulnerable to the musculoskeletal injury. Two or more risk factors that may be present at one time and we exposed to that, thereby will increase the risk of injury in any shape of you. Okay, if you think that you are in a good shape, healthy, but you are exposed to one, maybe you can tolerate to the risk factors, but somehow we are so difficult, to control. Only one risk factors is exposed, kan? Susah nak control tu. Somehow tanpa sedar, we are exposed ourselves to multiple risk factors. Masa tu lah, our body will struggle to cope with that situation and lead to the musculoskeletal injury. Oh my goodness, hopefully tak ada yang menguap-nguap teruk sangat. Because of my housemate, dia menguap teruk dengan my lecture. Jangan ngantuk tu, tolong stretching, stand up, sit down, or take some coffee. And please bear with me. Okay, this is the ergonomic and human factors. Is the ergonomic and human. Okay, ergonomic and human factors. Sorry ketawa saya. Saya memang tak buka video sebab macam itulah. Tapi kalau tengok saya memang saya gelak. Saya memang tak nampak anda semua because of I'm looking at the screen and I'm talking to my laptop. But I hope that you can keep yourself alert. Okay, ergonomic and human factors is categorized into three. The first one is physical or individual factors. Individual factors. The second one is physical factors. The third one is environmental factors. Okay, basically when we talk about ergonomic, we can, it's a physical risk factors that consists of force, repetition, body posture and movement, contact stress, shift work, job rotation and frequent break. However, when we talk about individual factors, we actually looking at to the other human element, which is the individual factors of humans. There are age, gender, working experience, health status, fatigue, stress, satisfaction, and medical condition. And other category is environmental factors, which is vibration, noise, illumination, lighting, temperature, and heat. In this topic, we will focus on the physical risk factors because of this is very, very important so that we can conduct initial ergonomic risk assessment in the next chapter. After this, we go to the musculoskeletal, and then musculoskeletal disorder, and then we have one topic that is initial ergonomic risk factors, that the factor is about to assess the future risk factor. So this is very important lah, tapi this mudah lah, topik ni mudah. So based on the as I did mention that we are going to have the initial ergonomic risk assessment in our fourth chapters ke fifth chapter lah kan. So in that chapter we'll focus on the ergonomic risk factor that is stated in this slide, which is awkward, forceful and sustained exertions, repetitive motion, static and sustained posture, vibration, contact stress, and also environmental condition that consists of noise, extreme temperature, which is thermal and cold, and also stress. Okay. So let's take a look at to the awkward posture. The definition of awkward posture is the position of the body while performing work activities that deviate significantly from the neutral position. If you are standing upright, you are actually in the neutral position. But however, after if you requires because of the job station and the workstation requires to do the bending to reach, for example, requires to twist your body to reach to the things that you need to handle while performing your job. You are actually in the deviation condition. That situation is not voluntary basis. Some of the factors that you are volunteer to do is up to you lah, such as you want to climb wall, you want to panjat gunung, to do hiking. This is your volunteer. Your volunteer, there is not termaktub di dalam, is not covered under the OSHA 1994. However, when it is because of your job, it is required due to complete the job, for example. It's under OSHA 1994 and we have to take care of that. Okay, the position that is not neutral, unneutral, is twisting, bending, overreaching, working the hands above the head. Maybe you can try it out. Put your hand above your head, both hands, put it up to the maximum, reach to the maximum. That's the definition. Above the shoulder, somehow you do you want to fix something in the box, for example, in the large box. So automatically when you reach something inside the box and you need to bend your body and your elbows suddenly above the shoulder. That's the situation lah. Working with the neck or back bent more than 30 degrees without support. Somehow when you are staring at something, you looking at something that are far from you, that you need clear vision, you are automatically bending your neck more than 30 degrees without support. The simple example is when you are using a laptop or desktop computer, you are actually staring at the monitor. Kan, monitor is the output kan, something that is processed and the output you expect to read the output. So without concern of your posture, you can be in the position that you are actually bend your neck. You move forward your head and bend your neck. And some of the awkward posture situation is when you have lack of ability to vary posture because of the situation yang the restricted area. Alright. So these are the example of the posture that is neutral and awkward. Okay. Picture number 1 above, neutral posture. When you put your hands straight. So the view 1 is showing you a neutral position. I hope that every one of you is making your hand buat sama-sama, buat macam gambar tu. This is neutral posture. And somehow when you deviate your hands, the left one, you deviate your hand ke dalam, the radial deviation. And when you deviate your hands keluar outside, as per shown in the picture, ulnar deviation. This one is, we call it as ulnar deviation. And flexion, when you put or you move your hand ke depan, is flexion. And when you move your hands backward, is extension. This is the situation somehow we are doing repeatedly without unconsciously, especially when we are focusing on the job that we are doing. Okay, and the next picture is when you standing. The picture of standing, neutral posture, where you are in the upright position. You have to, loosen your body, your muscle, your shoulder. You just loosen your shoulder and upright standing. Okay, that one is a neutral posture. Okay, so when you are in the upright position of standing, there are no problem because of you let muscle to support to do their job without intervene, without disruption. But however, when you are in the position of posture, for example, for the standing position, the back flexion, for example. So you are bending your body ke depan kan? We call it as back flexion. And however, some of the situation requires to do the back extension. I do not say that you are not allowed to do the stretching or exercise. It's different because of we do maybe some stretching, yoga exercise. We have the limitation of time. Mungkin, maybe we might do for 30 minutes yoga, stretching, or simple exercise. However, when in the workplace, do we need to perform, for example, back extension because of we want to fix something above our head? If we in that situation, we have to figure out the safer way to conduct that. We don't want to have any near misses or any injury while doing our job, because we know that after multiple exposure and prolonged exposure, that kind of exposure can lead to the musculoskeletal disorder. And another awkward posture while standing is about twisting and lateral bending. Whether or not you are in the position of lateral bending to the left or to the right, both are the same. Both are the same about the awkward posture. And this is the right picture is showing you the neutral posture for standing while using your hands, which benchmarking to the knee position. And it's not knee, it's an elbow position. Okay, look at that. When you are actually standing at work, the neutral position is about to make sure your elbow in 90 degree. Okay, where to know the 90 degree? Let I show you. I enable the pointer option. Okay, these are the situation or the position of elbow in the neutral posture. When your elbow is positioned in 90 degree. However, some of the situation that is maybe because of the height of the table or the workstation is not positioned, properly. Some of the situation that requires workers to deviate dia punya elbow. Nampak situasi begini. When this kind of situation happen, dia actually the muscle in the stretch, muscle tu dia meregang, dia tidak relax, dia contract. Because of that, you can feel some stiff, some of the time you feel kebas and so on and so forth. Okay, shoulder extension, shoulder flexion, nampak tak? Shoulder abduction and also the shoulder abduction and extension. This situation is awkward lah. In the picture dia kalau nak sebut in the pictures, in the picture, and then is dia bagi jadi shirt. In the picture is showing the awkward posture. This is how your punya elbow is extend and abduct. So at the same time, the upper body is also flexed, and these are the situation that I mentioned. Some of the scenario is not meant to do like this, but humans ni somehow they has the ability to to make things done, regardless lah of the situation and also the position. Okay, bila nak siapkan aja, tu yang dia terlupa to mind the posture. Okay, forceful, another risk factors is forceful and sustained exertions. It involves the use of high level of force while transporting or supporting load. Somehow, this is the kind of human juga lah. You need, somehow you like to push yourself. For example, trolley, the trolley usage. Heavy and maybe some malfunction of the wheel. Somehow you want to just get it done, you push. Tak sedar balik-balik, why my upper back is so pain. Lupa yang pergi shopping trolley tak elok. Okay, the activity that is actually contribute to the risk factors of forceful and sustained exertion is like lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling, carrying, and moving loads using hands or through the application of bodily force. The last example of the activity is as I did lah, is as I mentioned about the trolley usage supermarket. Lifting, if the weight is just nice, tak ada masalah lah kalau weight tu tak berat. However, although the weight is you can manage, somehow when you have to do it repeatedly, it's become trouble for you. Forceful and sustained exertion also exists in sustained posture, which place excessive force on the joint and overload the muscle and tendon. Anything that you might feel, is wow, berat lah, something like that, is actually put burden to your muscle and tendon. Again, I repeat, it does not mean that you are not, make your muscle to become stronger by not doing anything, by laying down all the time. It's not like that. Some people, dia boleh angkat kelapa sawit 30 kg, fresh food, bunches, 30 kg, because of they have very strong muscle, the tendon dia kuat. So every time they just pick up the load 30 kg tu, it does not contribute to any pain at all. But for those yang sitting at work, sedentary is means by the work activity that is lack of movement, like myself. Okay, suddenly I want to to test myself. Orang lain buat, why don't you, kan? I try to, pick up the 30 kilogram of load. I tell you, I think kan seminggu work, taklah warded, cumanya tak boleh buat apa. Body cramp because of my muscle is not ready, my tendon is not ready. So, how to have a strong muscle and tendon? Exercise and gradually improve the activity. Alright. Now we go to the next risk factors, which is repetitive motion. I like to give the example of repetitive motion like cooking a fried mi goreng. Kecoh kan? Mi goreng mamak, for example. If you just cook for 1 kilo mi, there is no problem lah, tak ada masalah pun. Just cook, simple, kan? But, okay, how about you cook 1 kilo, let's say lah sekali order tu kat kitchen dekat kedai. Sekali order lebih kurang masak 1 kilo tu sekali untuk satu meja. But you have to do the same same thing all over again for 3 hours because itu kedai mi goreng mamak, for example. So by using the same thing, although it's not heavy, it's okay, senang je, ringan je masak-masak. But when you need to do it repeatedly, you can make the muscle tired. Bila muscle tu tired, your muscle is benda hidup kan? Benda hidup is tired, and then dia tired tu because of apa? Dia reach to the maximum level. We can stretch ourselves until the maximum. Also the same thing goes to the muscle. You can stretch up your muscle until until the end, until the condition that muscle cannot go more. Tak boleh pergi dah muscle tu. Dia dah penat sampai cannot, until tired kan. When the muscle is fatigue, it's actually the lack of elastic because of lack of oxygen. Dia dah penat. When you penat, you tercungap-cungap kan. You tend to breathe heavily. You tercungap-cungap. You actually force the oxygen to come into the lung so that the lung can transport the oxygen to the muscle and all the system of body. When you do the same thing all again and again, you actually put the muscle that is specific muscle that you expose to, kata goreng mi, muscle tangan lah dengan bahu kan. You do the same thing and make the muscle tired. So the tired muscle cannot have ataupun cannot get the oxygen. Okay. So dia tak boleh nak repair. Bila tak ada oxygen, sel mati. When you are experiencing in the limitation of the oxygen intake, the cell that is all the cell or the cell hollow small cell tu perlukan oxygen, but the oxygen cannot reach to that area because of the muscle is now tired, the penat, the slow, and the tendency to recover. Bila ada oksigen, kita boleh nafas, nutrien sampai, and all the luka-luka kecil tu can be repaired. But sometimes because of you do the same thing again and again, you don't give them time, the muscle time to recover, to betul-betul ambil oksigen tu, to repair whatever yang minor injury tu. And repeated minor injury actually is the root cause of the major injury. Yang kita panggil dalam ergonomic is musculoskeletal disease. There is no such thing yang suddenly you expose one time and then you suffer from the musculoskeletal injury. Unless you involved with the accident. Contoh, you drive and then you terantuk dekat side mirror yang atas tu kan, mirror belakang tu, ada case dia terantuk sekali and then dekat T thoracic 3 and 4 ruptured. Slip di thoracic C and 4. Thoracic 3 dan 4. Nanti kita belajar T4, T5, T1. So because of the accident, one very strong impact. So dia berlaku kemalangan. Tapi kalau exposure biasa-biasa, light exposure tak ada yang berlaku. Melainkan dia disebabkan oleh small tissue yang injured tu tak dapat tempoh masa yang mencukupi untuk sembuh. Repeated movement of the same group of joint or muscle, too frequent, too quickly and long duration. That's the thing. Highly repetitive. Kan bila kata repetitive, dia ada repetitively but it's not highly repetitive. However, in this case, we have the definition. This definition you can obtain from initial era guideline. Initial ergonomic risk assessment guideline by Dosh. Dia kata highly repetitive is referred if the cycle time is 30 seconds or less. Meaning that if you do something, you have 60 seconds in 1 minute, but you do the same thing dalam seminit tu 4 kali. Meaning that the cycle of every time tu adalah lebih daripada 30 second. Okay, for those who ask me, I'm so sorry I did not respond tak sempat nak respond. Nak tanya buku, ada tak buku rujukan? You can go to JKKP website, DOSH website, Jabatan Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerjaan website, and you can go to the guideline or act. In the website, they have upload about the manual handling and ergonomic risk assessment guideline. Kat situ you boleh refer, bagus tu. Okay, static and sustained posture, minimal or restricted or no movement where the body held on to a particular position over a prolonged period. Ada problem ke? Yes. Because of restricted or no movement where the body have no time to recover, as I did mention before, it can lead to fatigue, pain and injuries. Prolonged standing, what we can do is prolonged standing position for duration for more 2 hours is hazardous. Meanwhile, for prolonged sitting or duration more than 30 minutes is hazardous. Alright, so look at to this, why the prolonged standing can exceed 2 hours, but why the prolonged sitting only allow to be made for 30 minutes. Because of the prolonged sitting, you tend to sit more than 30 minutes because you give compression to your lumbar. We will take a look at to the lumbar after dalam musculoskeletal disease nanti. Meanwhile, in prolonged sitting, siapa yang berdiri 2 jam tu without movement? Tak ada. We will move our body so that we feel comfortable. So automatically we actually activate our blood circulation. Sebab itulah prolonged standing is healthier and safer. Okay. Vibration, this is the example of whole body vibration. But we are not going to cover in this course lah vibration sebab tak cukup. If possible memang kita nak cover tapi tak cukup. Topik kita banyak. We will go to the more on the ergonomic risk assessment method lah. Banyak yang kita akan cover. Hand and arm vibration or recognized as HAV, exposure of hand or arm to kinetic energy from vibrating and percussive hand power tools. For example, hand power tools ni saya teringat kan, kita guna mixer for cooking, for baking kan. Now we have in the kitchen we have the mixer holder, but some of the untuk beginner punya mixer tu tak ada holder, kita have to use our hand. It's okay buat satu kek makan sedap panas-panas kan, tapi if we are in the business kan, kita kena buat banyak kek. So after we do for, let's say, for 5 hours, mixing the dough and do the cake, baking the cake, and at the evening we can feel our body, our hands tu dia macam bersemut. That is the symptom that you are exposed to the vibration tools. Itu kek tu mudah tu. Bagaimana kalau kita buat nak pecahkan konkrit, for example. Nak guna mesin hijack tu kan, nak pecahkan konkrit. Ataupun kita driving lori, gegar satu badan. Biasanya driving lori yang container itu melibatkan whole body vibration, driving mobile machine. Okay, internal contact stress. Contact stress is the condition when you are unconsciously, sebenarnya unconsciously, when a tendon, nerve or blood vessel is stretched or bent around the bone or tendon. One the example of internal contact stress is when you are sitting, your L5 and your L5, lumbar nombor 5 you tak move kan? You tak move, your lumbar number 5 is actually press your tendon. Itu yang berlaku nanti ada slip disc. Kebanyakan slip disc because of the internal contact stress. Yang ni nanti kita akan details dalam musculoskeletal disorder. External contact stress you may see when the part of the body rubs against a component of the workstation. For example, if now you are sitting on the chair and your laptop or desktop or your phone on the table, you put your hands, you can see the edge of the table to give stress on your hands. Somehow kita punya badan terkedalam lah because of the edge, bucu of the table tu. So that is why most of the chair, dia ada pants, seat pants, dia ada cover, sponge, nak avoid from the contact stress. Alright. This is the example that I mentioned about the contact stress. Okay, how the contact stress might happen and make your blood circulation disrupted and make yourself in the situation of disease. If you are exposed first time or second time, it's no problem. But if you are exposed to repeatedly for many and prolonged of time, you can feel the stiffness. You can feel the symptom. I do the assessment, ergonomics assessment at UMP. I have experienced multiple cases yang mana kami investigate what is the cause of the symptom, and the symptom varies, berbagai-bagai symptom because of the exposure. One of it is when you do the dish, you wash the dish, basuh pinggan, you suka terlepas pinggan tu because your grip weaken. You punya grip menjadi lemah. This is some of it because of the contact stress. When the victim ataupun the patient undergo the medical assessment, they can see some of the nerve or tendon that is fatigue. Dia mati. Fatigue and died because of the lack of oxygen. As you can see in the picture, there are disruption of blood circulation there. When the blood is disrupted and some of the part is not supplied with the oxygen and they can die. Macam tu lah. Alright, environmental risk factors, it consists of thermal environment, illumination, noise, vibration, and noise and vibration. Somehow thermal environment, we call it as extreme environment. So in Malaysia, we only have hot environment kan, so thermal lah. Somehow in international standard, we have cold or hot environment. How to control? We have the 3 techniques to control, whether we focus on the engineering control, or we focus to work practices, or we focus on administrative control. So for the engineering control, for example, we improve the workstation design, tool and equipment design, we eliminate excessive force, and also we eliminate awkward posture. And for the work practices, we can proper lifting technique, meaning that we provide the education, we give them training to do the training how to lift properly, for example, and then supervision. And also we can improve and control the ergonomic issue by keeping work area clean. So if we go to the home, kan semua kat rumah kan, we provide ataupun kita 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 pergi kepada minimalist punya design, so that we less furniture, less hazards. Somehow we can easy to manage lah. Administrative control, for example, is job rotation and counteractive stretch break. So, the exposure of for sitting not more than 30 minutes, some of the researcher or some of the reference mentioned that not more than 20 minutes. Okay? So, you set the clock whenever 20 minutes, you move your body out. You break break muscle. Some of the braking system, you don't break the system. Some of the break practice dia macam ni. Dia buat kerja dia ni, tiba-tiba dia break. Oh, time to break. What they do? They open up the Instagram or Facebook. You are actually not give yourself break at all. You do and you expose, you use the same work, the same muscle again and again. Break is about to give break to the muscle that you are using currently. Meaning that now you are sitting, you most probably give pressure to your lumbar, and muscle for lower back is actually in a stretch situation when the muscle need to make sure you are sitting upright. So you need to give them break by stand up and do some, maybe do picking up the papers or printed copy, or do some, sweeping the floor, jemur baju, tolong mak jemur baju, maybe tengok main kucing dan sebagainya kan. Make sure you adjust, you transform, or you adjust your position. That's the definition of break. Okay, when we talk about the ergonomic and human factors, there are things to consider lah. Tasks often have multiple risk factors, so you need to alert what you have been exposed to. To analyze the task, multiple assessment have to be done to cover force, repetition, posture, and fatigue. We don't have one, gold standard method that will cover all. Somehow when you have the method that can do the assessment of posture and repetition, but they are lacking in terms of inner side of human. Contoh motivation, tak nak measure yang tu. So most of the, when you are conducting the ergonomic risk assessment, you have to ensure that you have knowledge on multiple assessment lah. Sebab itu dalam kursus ini, kita akan expose student to multiple assessment. Yang towards the end, we believe that student able to conduct at least, cover majority of the ergonomic risk factors. And towards the end, student able to propose a control measures. The task time is important. If risk is found, any proposed solution must take into account manufacturing cycle, time requirement, and of course, cost. So this statement is reflect to, contoh. If I said that heavy lifting is hazardous, but if in a day 8 hours per day of working, you only requires to lift 10 kilogram of of load lah. Suddenly you refuse to do that because of, oh, this is hazardous. I took my ergonomic class. Dr. Ezrin mentioned that this is not, it's not going to be done by myself. Kan? Tak boleh lah. Because of we also count the cycle time a day. How many times you are exposed to. And if you are only exposed to one process or one exposure that consists of 10 kilogram of load, we have to look at to the standard, the recommended standard. I don't think that 10 kilogram is matters, okay? So we have to look at to the recommended load and the gender of the workers, the exposure, contoh 1 jam berapa kali dia kena buat, and also we have to consider the cost. Katalah load tersebut hendak dipecahkan, kata ada 50 kilogram. 50 kilogram is hazardous. You want to, to pecahkan kepada 10, 10, 10. How to do that? Is there any contribute or introduce any cost? If the cost is still bearable by the company, it's okay. But some of the company is, cukup-cukup makan je kan. So if you are the ergonomics and you the conduct assessment and you tiba-tiba you punya solution asyik nak kena ganti atau beli baru, definitely the management will challenge you and you will not getting any job after that. Okay, so nak kena jagalah juga. That is why experience is the powerful lah. As you need to have the experience to conduct. Okay, I give the group exercise actually to identify the ergonomic risk factors. Okay, nyatakan apakah ergonomic risk factors ini. Tapi because of rasanya boleh tengok dan masing-masing boleh brainstorm among you. I have no plan to extend our class maksud nak panjangkan lagi. So look at this. This is the first picture when you may refer to previous slide, the earlier slide. You can do by yourself. Saya sangat-sangat berharap untuk you all practice tengok apakah faktor and brainstorm, sebab mungkin dia akan keluar dalam assessment ke ataupun dalam midterm test. Okay, so bila mana you dah buat practice and then you dah familiar with the gambar and also the how to assess or identify the risk based on the picture. Okay guys, I think that's all. This is the slide. Thank you slide. So saya nak stop sharing so that I can see your face. Kalau tak, saya memang tak nampak. Alright, I also want to stop recording. This recording will be uploaded in the column so that you can refresh. You can keep on listening to my voice. Jangan sampai terengigau. Okay, stop recording.